This is the Relevant Podcast.
It's episode 1186, and it's the Relevant Podcast here in Orlando. I'm your host, Cameron Strang. Joining me from Loverland, Virginia, he's back, Jesse Carey.
Hello, hello.
From Nashville, it's artist, producer, mogul, Derek Miner.
What's happening?
And just down the street there in Nashville, it's our managing editor, downtown Emily Brown.
Hey, y'all.
Hey. Welcome back, Jesse. We missed you on last episode. How was Montana?
It was great.
Good?
I missed you guys. Not the same. You know,
no, you didn't. You were out like riding buffalo and stuff. You didn't miss us at all.
I was. You know, that's how they get around out there. Is
stagecoach and buffalo, barebacking buffaloes.
It's pretty rustic. No, it was great. I did have an observation and a prediction. I think. And I'm interested in your guys' take here. I think the cowboy hat is on its way back outside of places just like Montana. I was in a town, Whitefish, which
Have you not heard of Beyonce or Nashville? Of course it's coming back.
Well, exactly. But I saw a lot. I saw more out in the wild than I normally do. But I was in a town called Whitefish, there's a lot of like tourists there, and you could tell these are crisp cowboy hats. These aren't the ones. These aren't like an old Stetson that you have, knocking around the barn on a hook, you know? Right. These were fresh. These were people out at like bachelor party. It was throwing early Nashville vibes, the downtown of Whitefish. You know what I'm talking about. You can tell a lot of those cowboy hats were purchased for the trip. I'm not going to lie. They look pretty sharp. I thought about
they were purchased
investing.
in Whitefish. That's where they were purchased at. They were purchased in Whitefish.
Yeah,
right off, maybe in the airport.
Airport or the first stop from the Uber. Like, take me to a boutique where I can get one.
I need boots and a hat. Derek, do you own a cowboy hat? You live in Nashville.
No, I don't have one.
You can pull it off.
Would you ever
You can pull
consider?
off a cowboy hat for sure.
I have. It's not a cowboy hat, but it's like I got this hat that my kids bought at Disney. It's like the Indiana Jones hat. Is that a cowboy? That's not a cowboy hat.
It's not a cowboy hat.
I don't know what that's
You're a
called.
step closer.
It's Explorer. It's like an
Explorer hat. Yeah. So I'm like
Safari
dipping
hat.
my toe in the safari hat. I'm dipping my toe in the cowboy hat. Culture. We'll see what happens.
I think we're conflating a lot of things here. The fact that you guys conflated the archaeologist hat with the safari cap. The safari cap is
that's
a
the hard
look.
shell.
That's a hard shell, and it's got the back flap. It's got the back
that's
flap.
Right. It's
It's the mullet of hats. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Well, it's for the neck because you're leaning down digging stuff all day.
Now, I think it would be much cooler if the safari hat came into play here. But I do feel like. And then, Derek, it sounds like you're dancing pretty close to fedora territory as well.
I'm
that's dark.
on the fedora. I don't know. We'll see. I know there's a rapper named Braille that used to wear fedora all the time.
Derek, your head is too big for a fedora. You've got to go full cowboy hat. You need to scale. You're a big man. You're tall. You're strong. You can't come out with a little Justin Timberlake 2002 fedora. No.
Yeah, that ain't gonna work. Yeah, I like cowboy hats though. I mean, I'm not mad at them. I mean, look, I'm a country boy, so I'm not anti cowboy hat. I just haven't really, seen a reason to wear one now.
Jesse, you're talking about cowboy hats making a comeback. The second rappers latch on and start wearing them,
it's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
Well,
it's over.
I would tend to agree with your theory, but I think we learned from Pharrell, you can shoot your shot and it's not always going to catch on.
Right.
With
Pharrell's different. It has to be like somebody like Lil Baby, or it needs to be like a rapper that's like Pharrell is always fashion.
He's doing his own thing
into the future.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's you can't count Pharrell. You know what I mean? You can't count Pharrell. But there's this rapper named the Mexican OT. Mm-hmm. Have you checked him out? And Big X the Plug, both from Texas. Mexican OT, he's just country Mexican dude, but he's always like cowboy hats, wife beater on. So it's kind of catching a wave. Big X the Plug.
Yeah.
I mean, he's big. Big X the Plug is like Notorious Big, except he's from Texas. Like if Notorious B.I.G. or Rick Ross was in Texas, this dude's the same vibe. And I done seen him with the cowboy vibes on. So
Well,
the problem is though, they're from Texas. They can pull it off. Certain, cowboy-esque locations. I'm from here. I'm representing. I can wear it. If some dude from Boise, not Boise, that's even west.
Yeah, boy. Hey, I was gonna say
it's
that's
like Atlanta.
That's cowboy country.
Atlanta can't. Like some rapper that's a city guy. He
like
can't.
Chicago, yeah.
Yeah, he can't pull off a cowboy hat and it look authentic. You know what I mean?
Chicago is definitely, that's more of the mafia fedora. You know what I mean? That's like you got the trench coat and the
Dick Tracy, the wide brim fedora.
I do like that like fun hats are like coming back though, because like I saw a picture of which I mean he is in Paris, but Jason Kelsey was wearing a beret while attending some of the Olympic Games. And it looked honestly really funny, but I'm like, I actually would love if like big NFL players just started wearing berets like around town. Let's have fun again. That's kind of my stance.
When in Rome, he's wearing it in Paris. He can't wear that in Philly. That'd be so weird. But I'm wondering,
like, did he buy again? Is this did you buy that in the airport, or did you like have the Uber pull over to somewhere for you to buy a beret right off the bat? I believe
stylists probably deliver it to his hotel suite.
Well, he was also wearing like an American flag T-shirt with the beret, which was a great look. So
an old Navy original. All right. Yeah. We have a great show in store for you today. Judah and the Lion joins us. Well, just Judah, not the Lion. We couldn't get the permits for the Lion to be on the show today.
I ain't trying to talk to no lion.
That's what I'm saying. Just Judah can hold it down. Judah's coming up. He'll tell us all about the Lion. Also, we have your feedback at the end of the show. The question was projects that you maybe have taken on and gotten in over your head, like Derek with his re-landscaping his house.
No, it's finished, baby.
You did it.
We got a retaining wall. We got red lava rocks. We got crepe myrtles. We got hibiscus. We in here, baby.
Okay, so how about this?
Your HOA is not mad at you anymore?
Forget them. Like, look, the lady, she gonna have to be mad, because then in September I'm gonna hit this weed and feed on the grass. We're gonna hit it again in the spring, and then she's gonna be super mad. And then we putting the little lights down. Talk to me, Miss Janice. Holla at me.
You sound very confident now. Okay,
I'm confident.
I'm telling you, you are in, and I'm not trying to speak this over you, but everyone's confident after it's done. And then you get that grass popping up. Then you get some moles out there. And by the way, nothing works for moles. They'll tell you they get these little yard spikes that are supposed to send sonic waves out that drive some moles. Nope, you got full on infestation.
Ain't no moles in Nashville. The clay is too thick.
We don't have moles. We don't have moles in Florida because they would be digging indoor swimming pools.
But y'all have other critters in Florida, so I wouldn't speak too much.
Exactly, critters, Florida and critters. Come on, dog.
Mark the calendar. Mark the calendar. I want to see how. I want to see how optimistic Derek is 1 year from this date on this yard project.
Mark it.
But Derek, I appreciate that you have a project that you completed that you're not in over your head, because every one I attempt, I will one time replace the air filters, which on the spectrum, listen, on the spectrum of projects is barely constitutes one. It's more of a chore.
It's almost like turning off the lights. I mean, it's that basic. But you open a thing, put a thing in it, close the thing. That's it.
But I finished it, the whole house. And Dana was like, you set them to flow in the right direction, right? And I'm like, wait, there's directions on them? I thought you just kind of slide one in. She was like, no,
there's an arrow.
No, it was a redo. It was a whole redo. I was 50% accurate.
Jesse, I blame the manufacturer. Bro. They should have put the arrow a lot bigger on the thing.
I blame the technology. We should be beyond the point where they can only go one way. We should have two-way figured out. You can flip mattresses. They got two-way mattresses. We can figure out the air thing. I just feel like it's not on me. It's not on me. I assumed we were further along technologically. That's wrong for me.
That was wrong for you for having hope in humanity.
Yeah.
That's the lesson here. That's a valuable lesson we could all learn.
I know.
I didn't realize you're supposed to change your air filters when I first moved out on my own. And so I was in an apartment, and I easily had been living there for a year. And my dad made some comment about changing the air filter. And then he had to FaceTime me while we walked through it. But You know, you live and you learn. It was just like something I never knew about that.
That is okay. That's valid. That's part of life.
Right.
You are new to something. You need to be shown how to do it. It's a whole thing on TikTok where like there's a generation who grew up without dads who were handy, and like there's all these like retired dads.
I had a good dad. I just
never
paid attention to what he was doing.
To do with that. It's some people just have a higher aptitude, and I just don't want to deal with it. You know, I have my strengths. I'm fine. I'm
You're
fine
the dreamer.
with some dusty air. You know what I mean?
My favorite meme is there's this meme and there's this guy, he's like super dusty, and they were like, your air filter, but you're frustrated over the COVID-19 mask mandate. Like I remember during COVID, that was a thing. Cause I thought about that. I'm like, man, it's people that haven't changed their air filter in 5 years. And I was one of them. Like I am a habitual non-air filter changer.
Yeah.
And my wife is the one that reminds me. She just literally just drops them off in the office. And I know what time it is because I'll literally forget. I'll forget.
My wife will drop them off too, and they will sit there until I move them in a closet or something, and then at some point it'll be done. I don't have time.
That is one of the things I miss. Somebody like dropping off air filters on your desk, helping you out. Like I have to think of replacing the air filters, buy the air filters, get the air filters, and then install them.
It's not. She's not helping me out.
Oh.
She's commanding
It's a reminder.
me. Like,
That's a reminder.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want to have to make decisions. Like, tell me what to do.
Teamwork.
I'll do it. I love that.
Yeah.
I envy y'all. Yeah. Imagine having to do it all by yourself.
Put that on your dating app, looking for someone to help change out air filters.
Looking for someone to tell me what to do. Tell me what to do.
Respiratory.
Tell me what to do on a dating app. You'll be fine.
Respiratory issues are just one of many issues that I would fall into if I were single. I mean, there would be lots of others that either neglect or ignorance would kick in, and like I said, inadvertent tax evasion would certainly be among them too. One of my big problems, you know. There are lots that I'm
so we're just thankful for Dana. Lord, we just want to thank you right now for Dana Carey.
Exactly.
You would either be in jail or dead is what I'm hearing.
Or have mesothelioma or whatever.
You would have an asbestos disease, like just because you randomly found yourself in asbestos for some reason.
That's right. Okay,
got it.
Invested in some asbestos. Very cheap.
Another update in the minor household is my kids. So have y'all ever heard of the guns called Orbeez?
Oh, yeah. Heard of those? Well, I have an Orbeez shooter. Well, my son does. Yeah.
So one of my kids had the great idea to pour all the Orbeez down the drain.
Oh no.
And I don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about?
They're like these little small plastic balls that you put in guns that kind of like replace the Nerf gun. Pretty much.
They're like small, like BBs?
Like little BBs, but they're plastic. So they don't hurt. They don't hurt as bad, right? So, but they're kind of like more like, you remember like when you play jumping jacks, like those balls that you would use with the jumping jack, kind of feels like that kind of material.
Okay. Oh, okay. So like bouncy ball kind of.
Yeah.
Not like boba tea. They're not like little like.
Exactly.
Okay. Got it. Okay.
Right. So I walk into my kitchen and I look on the ceiling and I'm like, well, there's a stain up here. I wonder what's going on. So I call my good friend Philip the plumber, not Joe the plumber, not to be confused. But I call Philip the plumber, and plumber, he comes up there and he pulls out the longest black plastic like gunk in my drain and says, here's your problem. And I look and there's Orbeez. It's like black Orbeez melted inside the sink. He's like, here's your problem. So shout out to Nolan and Zane for adding another bill to Dad's life.
What were they trying to do by pouring them down the drain? Like hide them from you or like
destroy my pocket? That's what they were trying to do. They were trying to.
It's like hide the evidence. Like pouring drugs down the drain, like when they're about to get raided.
Well, listen,
they're capitalists. They want to take care of our buddy Philip the plumber. So they're look, you know what I could do? Sabotage the drain. We get the plumber some work, and Dad gets to lose a little bit more money in the morning.
How kind of them.
Well, they may be more destructive, but my son and his friends take Orbeez because these guns. I want to pull up a video here of me playing one. They shoot pretty hard. Like if close range, they leave welts. Like they hurt, right? And they're filled with liquid. And I caught my son and his buddies putting a bunch in the freezer. so that the liquid inside would freeze and be much more deadly when you get shot by them. I know. Kids, they cannot be trusted with these awesome guns. Though I will say, they are super, super fun to use.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna find a video. Like, do they cry?
Yeah. Oh yeah. We shoot all types of people with them.
They're not good for the drain though. Just to let you guys know out there, they're not great for the drain.
Got it. All right. Well, we have a great show in store. Judah's coming up. We got your feedback. Stay tuned. Right now, up next, it's Relevant Buzz.
Girl in the line and see she moving fast like Buffy in One Piece. I'm dancing hard, please, maybe she be alright. I don't need to be with I'm all listen. She said she rather dance with that boy who's listening, so she took a train, I take his son. She said, baby, can I take another hit? She started acting better and she started hissing. Watch her body swinging when she move her hips. Full throttle on the floor.
You're listening to JDM Global and Cruel Santino. The song is Wishes. Today's podcast is brought to you in part by Mercy Ships. Globally, 5 billion people lack access to surgical care. In sub-Saharan Africa, there's only one surgeon for every 200,000 people. Mercy Ships provides free, life-transforming surgeries for people who have little to no access to medical care. They help the blind see, straighten twisted limbs, remove deadly tumors, treat cleft conditions, and so much more. With state-of-the-art hospital ships, they provide safe surgery to children and adults living with treatable conditions, and it's completely free of charge. They do all this work with an all-volunteer crew of professionals who donate their time and talents. Surgeons, stewards, nurses, engineers, and more make the world a better place. Your donation today provides free, safe surgeries to people in desperate need of help. All gifts are matched, so please donate today at mercyships.org/relevant. Today's podcast is brought to you in part by Tim Tebow's book, Look Again. Have you ever wondered what would change if you truly believed you were infinitely valuable to God? In his New York Times bestselling book, Look Again, Tim Tebow reveals the powerful truth that when we learn to see the image of God in every person, including those we struggle to love, everything changes. Tebow shares incredible stories from his work with people the world often overlooks, and it will challenge you to stand up to the lies, rediscover the worth that everyone has, and impact the world for good. Find Look Again by Tim Tebow, available now wherever books are sold. Okay, it's time for
Relevant Buzz.
Tell us what's happening at the intersection of faith and culture this week, Emily.
Okay, so the first thing we have to talk about is what went down at the Olympics opening ceremony. You've probably seen like the pictures and videos from it, but there's one particular scene that's caused just like a lot of controversy. So let's unpack it. I'm talking about the big table scene where there's like a lot of people there, including like drag queens. There's a person in the middle with a halo, and then there's this like blue guy laying on the table eating fruit, that whole thing, right? Immediately when people saw it, they thought it was a reference to Leonardo da Vinci's famous The Last Supper painting. And
the fact that this is drag queens portraying The Last Supper was offensive. Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't watch it, but I saw that was my feed all last weekend was pastors being outraged. Rightfully being outraged if, that's what was going on,
Yeah. See, there was a lot of people outraged. A lot of Christian leaders and communities were upset because they took it as the Olympics, just mocking their faith. And so you have people like, Al Mohler, who's the president of the Southern Baptist Theological Seminary. He called it corruption of Christianity. House Speaker Mike Johnson said it was insulting to Christian people around the world. You have Russell Brand talking about how, is this the beginning of the end? Like all these people are upset. But the thing is they're kind of upset about the wrong thing because the ceremony's artistic director is a man named Thomas Jolly, has reported to the media that he was not trying to recreate the Last Supper. He was actually recreating what's called the Feast of Dionysus. So Dionysus is the god of celebration in Greek mythology. And there are multiple paintings of these big feasts he used to throw where people are gathered around a table and he is lounging, eating fruit.
And he's the blue guy that was lounging on the table?
Yeah, he's supposed to be the blue guy. So I will say the artistic director maybe could have been a little more obvious if that's what he was going for.
Yeah, I think the halo, the person in the middle, is what made people think it was the deity.
Right.
But can I be honest too? I mean, even if it was the Last Supper, this seems and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong here, right? But But to me, so much of that outrage felt performative. People felt outraged because they felt like they needed to be outraged that this was not, even if it was the Last Supper, who cares, right?
Okay, but
hold on. Real quick, let me just finish my point. Like, it's like I just feel like the gospel is very clear that the message is going to be rejected. You're going to be mocked. It says you shouldn't. This shouldn't be a surprise to you, and it shouldn't. That literally people are going to be offended by this message. Like, don't let that surprise you. But it was like the old Tony Campola anecdote from years ago, where he's speaking at a chapel service, and he says, X number of kids are going to die from a preventable disease, right? Today. We know that statistically. And a lot of people in this room aren't doing, and he said the word, I'll spare it so we can keep our clean rating. But a lot of Christians aren't doing a bleep about it. And a lot of you had more reaction to me saying the curse word than you did to the stat about the church not stepping up to the plate with preventable disease. Like, to me, a lot of the outrage, it just seems like there's lots to be outraged about, but this just doesn't seem like, even if it was mocking a Renaissance painting depicting, a religious activity, it just it doesn't seem like Christians should. It just seems like we should have thicker skin, in my opinion. That's just my take.
Okay, I did see some pastors say we've been, culture has desensitized us to violence, to sex, whatever, and I will not be desensitized to blasphemy. And it's like, there is a line, like you don't do that about Allah or Muhammad. I'm not okay with you mocking in blasphemous ways our Lord and Savior. Like, this isn't okay. I'm not going to support this. Just like, that's my line, and I'm not going to support the Olympics now. That's what they were saying. And I understand that viewpoint. The problem is they weren't referencing the Last Supper. I mean, the thing that to me is more notable here is that France is such a secular society, so non-religious, that it didn't even occur to him. He said, like in an extended quote, and we published this at the website, it didn't even occur to him that it looked like the Last Supper. He was specifically talking about a Greek god because it's the Greek Olympic Games, and didn't even occur to him. That to me is like more telling, that it's like, holy cow, they're not even aware of Christianity and that this might have been blasphemous. Anyway, if you want to be outraged about drag queens and pagan gods and gluttony, be outraged. That's fine. Be offended if that's your compass, but be offended about the right thing. Christians, don't be offended because you think it was something else. It wasn't.
Yes, I think we all have, some strong opinions about this. We really just wanted to clarify what was said and what the Olympic officials are saying what happened. So now we are moving on to the next item, which this one is mostly for, me and my fellow single people. But I think we'll all find this interesting because, I feel like I've lamented a lot about how frustrating the dating scene is today. And according to a new report, I'm not the only one, because women are getting so fed up with their dating options that they're now turning to AI companion apps to fulfill their emotional needs.
What does that mean?
So these apps, kind of think like The Sims or like Second Life, but there's these apps out there now where people can create an account and put in personal information like their age and their dating preferences. And then they are speaking to a chatbot who they can customize with avatar name, different things like that. And they can speak with this chatbot through text, voice chat, and video, and basically have like a virtual boyfriend.
Isn't this essentially the plot of the film Her? With,
literally. Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, and the
Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, or not Spike Jones. It is
Spike Lee would have done a very different movie.
I would have loved if Her was a Spike Lee joint. I just think it would have been. Maybe I do. Now, Emily, are there specific apps catered to?
Yeah, tell us more.
Yeah.
I feel like this has kind of always been out there of like computer. I mean, there was a song back in the 80s called Computer Love, an R&B song. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, this isn't new. What's new here?
So what's new is that because of generative AI and just how kind of smart it's getting, it's a lot better than just kind of like what has been around for a while, which is like you're very aware you're talking to, a chatbot robot kind of thing, because AI is getting more human-like, and the more people use it, the more it kind of knows what you want. A lot of women have honestly just like given up on dating and are just using these chatbots to kind of fulfill this void that they're filling in their lives. Like women online are talking about how speaking to these AI chatbots has made them realize that they were settling for a man. And so they broke up with him and are now just almost basically dating this chatbot because it's goodness. Like filling this kind of like they're missing this human intimacy.
The emotional connection sort of thing.
No. So how are you fulfilling missing human intimacy with a robot? Like that to me, that is artificial. What it is, the robot's just telling you everything you want.
Yeah, but exactly. You get that serotonin, that dopamine hit still, I guess.
That's not human. Tension is human. Like
still makes them feel good. It's better than staring at a wall.
I find no harm in this because who among us hasn't like gone on and goofed around with ChatGPT and was like, that was a pretty good time. Like I was asking it to like write me a script. Like I could literally go right now and say, write me a script of the film Her if it was a Spike Lee joint. And I would read it and I would laugh. And it would be like, at the end of it, would be like, I had the same fulfillment of me sitting around with some buddies pontificating what this would be like. I don't have any issue with it. It's,
well, okay. See, that's the thing though, is I do think it gives maybe temporarily like some relief, joy, excitement, whatever. But I think like in the middle, like thinking about the fact that we are in a very massive loneliness epidemic. And this is just going to make people more lonely because they're not going to go hang out and talk with their friends. They're not going to try to pursue these actual human connections. They're thinking, well, I'll just get online and they'll kind of tell me what I want to hear and I can lead the conversation. And I think long term, that's actually going to do a lot more damage than any maybe short term joy you get.
First of all, number one, can they remind you when to change your air filters?
Yes,
because that's a big part of relationships.
Without a doubt,
big part of relationships right there.
Romantic need.
Okay, number one. Number two. Back in the like 90s and 2000s, like there was like AOL chat rooms and stuff, and you would like the movie You Got Mail. Like you would get into chat rooms and you'd have an emotional connection and conversation with these people. But they're 99.9% of the time just this anonymous person you'll never meet. You know what I mean? But you still have a connection and feelings sometimes with them. And I'm wondering if it's that same dynamic, where it's like, I feel seen. I feel this person's interested in me. They make me feel good. I want to come home and like get online and talk to them. Maybe that's the same thing. And it's really just been something that we've been kind of going this direction for 30 years. You know what I mean? It's just like it was happening in the 90s.
Maybe people can just use it as like a little pep talk before they go out on the date. They just get a couple reps in with
like a practice date.
Yeah, it's like change
a couple air filters. You have a practice date.
Well, yeah, you could do basically a version of the rehearsal situation where it's like, all right, I'm going to throw a bunch of conversation topics at this AI so that I know how to pivot when it's game time.
Test out some jokes. She doesn't think that's funny. Do you think I should wear this?
This is like a Black Mirror episode if I've ever heard of one.
A good one too.
Dude, I was talking
directed by Spike Lee.
I was talking to some of Cohen's friends last night. I took them to see Twisters, and one of them just says, "Hey, have you seen a Cybertruck?" And I was like, "Yeah. What do you think of it?" I was like, "I don't know. They're squattier in real life than I thought they'd be, or whatever." And like, they're so dystopian. And I was like, and then we were talking about like the Apple Vision Pro and how come like everything looks like the future? I was like, guys, these products aren't sci-fi. These are now. This is the future. This is dystopia. Like this isn't some future thing. We are in the future.
We are in the future.
Because here's the thing no one will address about dystopian movies. What is there's a lot of cool stuff in them. Like, I get things went sideways, but there's still a lot of cool gadgets when you watch a dystopian movie.
You put one blue Greek god on a table and society goes sideways,
Exactly. But do we get all the cool gadgets at least? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you can watch Blade Runner. They still got flying cars. Okay. Like I get it. Things didn't go great,
but they got flying cars out of it.
They got pretty sweet flying cars. So
my gosh. All right. Well, listen, if you see me smiling at my phone, just don't question it. Okay. It's just me talking to my online boyfriend.
She's like, I just got my reminder to change my air filter. That's all it is.
Who's this? Don't forget to have the arrows go the right way. Thank you.
Heart. Yeah. Anyways. Okay. Last thing I did want to talk about one more thing before we wrap up. Something that is near and dear to my heart. And I know it's near and dear to Derek's heart. don't really care about Cameron and Jesse, but I'm actually a really big Marvel fan, and I want to talk about all the Marvel announcements that happened at Comic-Con this past weekend.
Me too.
I'm interested in some takes here. I'm going to need some takes from you guys.
Oh, okay, good. I know, because, I know Cameron and Jesse, this is like when y'all talk about sports, this is like your version for me. But
I learned this week that Emily has seen, by her own admission, every Marvel movie. I was shocked at that.
And TV show.
Wow.
Yes.
And TV show.
Because they're great. Because they're great.
Well, I get that for you, Derek. I was shocked that Emily is that into it.
Because they're great. They're a
They are
worldwide
really good.
brand. They're a worldwide brand. You're just the one that doesn't like them.
No, I get it. It's fine.
Let's go.
Let's hear it.
Okay. So obviously the biggest news is Robert Downey Jr. is back. Spoiler alert, he did die in Endgame as Iron Man, but he's coming back as Dr. Doom.
Mm-hmm.
Derek, how do you feel about that?
How?
I love it.
Yeah. Didn't he die? Like, how
He's
is
coming back
it?
as a nuke.
He's going to be a variant, but there's actually a comic book run. I don't know if it's canonical, but there's a comic book run where this actually happened. So it's based in material. It's not just them trying to say, we need some help, bring Robert Downey Jr. back.
Okay.
But I mean,
That's what I thought. I was like, how are they going to connect this storyline? Okay.
But they do need help.
Yeah.
And they're bringing Robert Downey Jr. back, and I think Chris Evans is signing on.
Well, I think that one's still a rumor.
Television show. Oh,
They
okay.
are bringing back the Russo brothers who directed Infinity War and Endgame. So they are
do
kind
y'all
of leaning.
like the Russo brothers? Is that
Yes.
like they're popular?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Yes.
Yeah. Whatever movie they make is going to make $1 billion. Like it's going to be great. And again, it is interesting that they're like leaning a lot into their older phases, because a lot of people who aren't like super bought into the MCU have not been thrilled with this most recent phase, because there's been a lot of changes. So it's interesting that they're bringing stuff back, but I'm actually really excited about the new stuff coming out, because two of the movies they talked about at Comic-Con were Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four. And both of those have really great casts that I'm excited to see. In Thunderbolts, you've got Sebastian Stan, Florence Pugh, Julia Louis, I always say her name wrong, Julia Louis-Dreyfus. And then
Say it again. Say it again with confidence.
Did I say it right?
No, I don't know. I think it's funny.
You stumbled on the landing.
You ran 5
through it.
You were
minutes.
right there. You were right.
Let's go back.
You made it to the final. It wasn't the syllable I was predicting.
She hit eject. Yeah, she's like, I'm out. I don't know.
I watch a lot of Olympic gymnastics,
Yeah.
like,
I was trying to
when they're
Simone
sticking the
Biles it.
landing or not. You know when they're midair, like that's going to be clean or not. And so let's try
it
one
was
more time.
midair. I was
And I'll
like,
tell you
I'm
this,
saying
it
this
was
wrong.
not the syllable I thought was going to get you. Gotcha.
Okay, Julia Louis-Dreyfus. How do you say it?
Dreyfus, right? I think
Dreyfus.
it's
Dang
Dreyfus.
it.
Yeah. Julia
That one.
Louise Dreyfus. Yeah.
There we go. Okay, well, that girl, she'll be in it, which we're excited about. And then Fantastic Four is going to have Pedro Pascal, Ibn Masbarak, who plays Cousin from The Bear. Like, there's a really good cast that I think is going to happen. So I'm excited about what's new. Derek, what are you most excited about?
I'm most excited that it feels like Marvel has realized that they got to let the people that were passionate about building the universe be a part of the universe. It feels like Marvel kind of made so much money. They was like, all right, well, this is just a money-making machine. We can do whatever we want. The fans are going to eat it up. And the last phase, the fans was like, nah, we want real stories. Even though they're superheroes or whatever, we want some stories that we care about. And it feels like they're trying to do that. So I'm excited to see what happens.
I deep down hope, because Derek, I've heard the same theory that you did, that Robert Downey Jr. is playing like the Tony Stark variant that ends up becoming Doctor Doom, and how that's anchored in the comics. I hope they go a different direction. I hope they just slap a mustache on him, and people in the MCU are like, Doctor Doom, has anyone ever told you look a lot like Tony Stark? And he's like, it's weird. That's how I agree with the mustache. We're not the same guy though. I hope they don't even do the variant thing and just don't acknowledge that they look identical because they're portrayed by this.
Here's my prediction on that one. I don't think he stays Doctor Doom. I think there's an actual Doctor Doom that comes. I think that there's some sort of. I think this was just to bring excitement. Yeah. I don't think because Doctor Doom is one of the most iconic villains in comic book history. He's like Joker level. Yeah. I think what happens is they're using this Tony Stark situation to introduce somebody else. That'll be the Doctor Doom, because this Doctor Doom is literally going to be in this for the next probably the next 10 years. So I don't see it being Robert Downey Jr. for the next 10 years.
Yeah. Well,
we'll see.
Yeah. I'm not like a completist like you guys, but I'll watch the big one. So I'm excited to see how it comes out here.
Let's get it.
Well, there you go. Well, that'll do it for
Relevant Buzz.
Make sure to check out relevantmagazine.com every weekday where we are covering the intersection of faith, culture, and everything in between. Thanks, Emily. All right, stay tuned. Up next, Judah joins us. No lines. You're listening to Giannis and the Yah and Tony Allen. The song is Rain Can't Reach Us. Today's podcast is brought to you in part by John Mark Comer's book, Garden City, a book that speaks to the tension we all feel between work, rest, and purpose. The New York Times bestselling author John Mark Comer takes us to the scriptures to identify what it really means to be human and flips the script on the idea that who you are matters, not what you do. He shows that God created us for meaningful work and meaningful rest. Both matter. This book helps you ask and answer the big questions. Does God care where I work? Is there a direction for my life? So you can discern God's heart for your calling, your rhythms, and the way His Spirit wants to shape every part of your life. If you're longing for purpose and a more grounded way to live, check out the new hardcover edition of Garden City wherever books are sold. Well, today's show is brought to you in part by the new book, God, the Science, the Evidence. We talk a lot about faith, but how often do we talk about science in the same breath? You might be surprised to discover just how deeply the two actually agree. For centuries, science has been used to dismiss the idea of God, but today an intellectual revolution is underway. Modern discoveries in physics, cosmology, and biology are consistently revealing the same truth: creation isn't an accident. That profound reversal is what engineers Michel-Yves Bolloré and Olivier Bonassi investigate in their international bestseller, God, the Science, the Evidence. This book is a rigorous, evidence-based critique of materialism, inviting you to explore over a dozen scientific, philosophical, and historical domains. It shows that what was once seemed impossible, that science could point to a creator, is now supported by a vast and convergent body of evidence. With over 400,000 copies sold in Europe, this book is sparking a global debate. It's thoughtful, fascinating, and a powerful reminder that reason itself affirms the existence of God. Learn more and find out where you can purchase your copy today by visiting godthesciencetheevidence.com. Today's podcast is brought to you in part by Erwin McManus's book, The Barbarian Way. Some books don't just inspire you, they confront you. The Barbarian Way, now celebrating its 20th anniversary, is one of those books. If you felt the pull of God towards something deeper and wilder than the safe, predictable version of faith that we settle for, McManus reminds us that following Jesus was never meant to be tame. It's meant to awaken courage, passion, and purpose God placed inside us. He draws from the wild stories of Abel, Noah, Moses, Rahab, and others to remind us that following God wasn't meant to be tame. Safe faith isn't working. Step into the story God is writing for you. Choose passion, choose boldness, choose the Barbarian Way. Available now wherever books are sold. Well, our guest today is Judah and the Lion. Well, specifically just Judah Akers, the lead singer of the band. They just released their latest album, The Process, which happens to be their most personal project yet. Judah opens up to us about how the album helped him process his divorce and the healing and freedom he dealt with along the way. Here's our conversation with Judah and the Lion.
So on your latest album, The Process, it's all about working through the grief of your divorce. And I'm sure there were probably a lot of ways to address it publicly. So why did you want to create an album about it? Because that feels pretty vulnerable to me.
Yeah, it is. Like, it's definitely like, you know, we've always kind of been a band that have written about like what's going on in our lives. It's kind of fun now looking back at our catalog and being like, these are like little time capsules for us in our lives. So yeah, I mean, I think just going through a divorce is automatically pretty personal. I honestly fought even writing about my divorce for a while, just because I didn't want to be exposed in that way. Obviously, divorce feels like a massive defeat. It's a massive, cut to the ego. It's like all those things that you're kind of having to kind of really acknowledge some personal things that have gone on, my own weaknesses, and kind of admit to those. And so it's definitely like the most personal as far as my story goes. And I think Pep Talks, I kind of relate it to that record of just having a lot of, that was kind of intertwined with my mental health and my parents' divorce. So it was like, it was very personal to that story, but also maybe just me sharing along a little bit more of what was going on with my family. So this one's directly tied to me, my struggles and issues that gets kind of intertwined with it. So we're really excited.
Greatest defeats, who I was in blessings, or when I was on my knees and I didn't know what to do and I didn't understand. Oh, I've been wondering where I line up to a measure of a man.
Did you write this after you had processed your grief or while you were still in the middle of it?
There were like two phases for me with it all. Was as I was kind of really going through it, we were writing our last record, Revival. And so a lot of that, and now I look back at that record and I think it was so much about like learning how to let go and learning how to kind of find this sense of self-worth and awakening, and by like this like act of surrender. And then this one, I kind of got through this like really bad anger phase, and it was so poignant for me in my journey, because I didn't really grow up in a house as like a dude where you were like allowed to be angry. I was allowed to like, in some ways like have tears and like, and I have amazing parents, but I think just being a Southern boy that grew up a jock, you're just kind of just rub some dirt on it and move on, and don't get angry about your strikeout or whatever it may be. Because I think I had anger issues as a child. Like I would like punch the locker room wall, and like luckily I'd never really took it out on anyone but myself. But during this season, I think that there was a lot for me to be validly like angry about, and I had chronic back pain because of the anger. It all like surfaced negatively in my health, like just wild stuff. And so until there was like a few months of just like writing the angriest songs in the world, and being like, oh my God, I can never release these songs. But it really helped. Even like when I was, my anger was misdirected at my friends or other relationships, it healed my back pain. Like once I allowed myself to really just get out that rage. And then that was when me and Brian kind of talked about, like, I think we're ready to write this record from the position of empathy and forgiveness towards myself and towards my ex and towards other relationships that I need to kind of forgive and accept and move on, and to be able to move on. So that's when we came up with the Kubler Ross's Stages of Grief. I will say that it was kind of during, but it was after. A lot of these ideas were kind of during the divorce, but it was definitely after I had kind of come to a space in my heart where I could hold a lot of forgiveness and empathy towards the demise of my like previous relationship. So it's kind of both. And honestly, writing it, a few years after the fact or whatever, I was able to go back and look clearly at like, this is when I was in complete denial. Like, my sister and best friend were like, yo, like this is kind of over. And I was not in that season. And so it was really healing. It's kind of like extra healing to kind of go back and be like, man, I was holding on to this anger and it was bad. So it was a little bit of both.
It's really interesting to hear you talk about the physical healing that took place, because I think a lot of people ignore that when they're dealing with grief.
Well, the big like kicker for me was, even on a previous song, I was taught early on about how, the body keeps the score, which is a very amazing book for anyone that's wanting to like read about that has unprocessed grief in their body. But my therapist also said, well, if the body keeps the score, then the body knows the way. And it's just this idea that, hey, this back pain is not going away. Like, let's go in and figure out these places in you that, for whatever reason, like you're not accepting. And it really changed the trajectory of my healing, because it was like, and I'm not like, and the record doesn't condone like, poor anger. That's not the point. Like violent anger, all that stuff is toxic and terrible. But also the other side of that coin is it's also terrible for you to hold on to something. And, anger for me, at least, was rooted a little bit in unforgiveness. And so it was like, once I was really able to first forgive myself, which I think is probably the hardest thing for most humans to do, then the anger kind of was a little bit more of like this justice thing, this like justice rage that I think was, finally like defending myself. And once I let that go, then, true like acceptance and forgiveness kind of like really started to kind of settle in.
So the album goes through all 5 stages of grief. I'm curious, which stage was the hardest for you to write about?
I think it was like, again, I think bargaining was kind of the hardest one, because I could go back easily and be like, I had this crazy conversation with my sister when I was really suffering kind of secretly in my depression. And that was like those songs were hard to write because it kind of brings you back to those emotions. Like the anger songs, Floating in the Night, was a really hard one to write because we would go into the studio and I would get angry, like doing like a vocal take, it was bringing me back to these spaces, which that's what we love about music and potentially kind of hate about music. But like the bargaining section and then the acceptance is like fun, right? It's like, hell yeah, we kind of, it's not perfect, but we've made it to this release of, you're out of at least the thick part of all this stuff, but figuring out how to tell the story well. I think we only had one song on denial and one song on bargaining, but we had like 3 or 4 on anger, 3 or 4 on depression, and then 3 or 4 on acceptance. And so going back and honestly going back and asking my therapist, like, hey, where was I here? And then that was when he kind of taught me about the shock of it all. And I was having like these chronic panic attacks, and that's like when your body's kind of going in this fight, flight, or freeze, and it's completely frozen. And he was like, you should go back and write about what that felt like when you were really suffering. And so FLA was in that moment. But it was a fun like puzzle piece for me and Brian, and like the artistic side of what we do. Like it was just such a fun kind of puzzle piece to make sure that each stage got its like weight in gold.
I only want the best for you.
That was Judah Akers from Judah and the Lion. Make sure to check out their new album, The Process. Also, check out their feature that we have in issue 115 of Relevant. I'll give you more information at the end of the show about where you can check that out. All right, stay tuned. Up next, it's your feedback.
It gets lonelier than this. Standing in the corner of the decent things we miss.
Oh, and the fire wasn't my idea.
You were the one who changed the lock.
Oh, and the fire wasn't my idea.
They tell you you're forgiven, but you're
You're listening to Angus and Julia Stone. The song is Down to the Sea. Well, today's podcast is brought to you in part by the new book, Confessions of a Christian Alcoholic. Author Jonathan Seidel knows firsthand how even believers can get stuck in shame and destructive habits, especially when it comes to one of society's biggest obsessions, alcohol. In Confessions of a Christian Alcoholic, he details his spiral into disordered drinking and shares the 4-step process he eventually used to break free. There's hope for alcoholics who become Christians and for Christians who become alcoholics. Find Confessions of a Christian Alcoholic wherever books are sold. What if you could change a child's life with just $10? Right now, thousands of vulnerable children in East Africa are suffering from jiggers. It's a painful, preventable parasite that burrows into their feet. Soul Hope is the only organization treating it through foot washing, medical care, and durable closed-toed shoes that protect kids long after treatment. $10 may not seem like much in today's world, but when we come together, those small gifts add up to big change. Join the 10 for 10 campaign. $10 protects 10 small toes. Visit soulhope.org/10 to give now. One small gift makes a big difference. Again, that's soulhope, SOLE, hope.org/TEN. All right, it's time for your feedback. Last week, we asked you, Derek was in a big home renovation project. Jesse is terrible at them. We asked you, what is a home improvement project or apartment improvement project or life improvement project that you started, got in over your head, and maybe things went a little sideways? You hit us up on X at Relevant Podcast, and here's some of our favorite replies.
Sarah James says, decided to repaint my kitchen. The paint looked green online, but when it dried, it was more neon green. And I love that for you. I hope you kept it.
I do. It is frustrating when paint doesn't dry the way you think it's going to, but you don't know till later. Yeah.
You got to get samples and test on the
for
with
sure.
all paint. You got to get samples and test on the back wall or something.
For sure.
But sometimes you just want to get it done. You know, you don't have time.
I sometimes.
And then you got a Ninja Turtle kitchen.
Yeah, it'll come in style at some point. Jenny says, I tried to install smart lights myself to save money. Somehow ended up short circuiting the entire house. Still not sure what went wrong. I'm assuming because you're still not sure, you didn't have a professional come fix it and you just moved out of the house. That would be my move. Or just that part of the house gets warded off because it's an electrical hazard. That's one lesson I learned early on. Never try to do electrical stuff by yourself, even if it seems like a simple task that can go haywire. And smart lights, I have smart feeling about a lot of smart appliances.
They're not very smart.
And how hard is it to turn off switch? Like, out of all the things that ain't going to save me money, I just turn it off and on, or put little timer thing.
I agree with you about most things. I could not disagree more.
About the smart lights?
Yeah. Smart lights was my major investment. Like, I'll just be honest with you. It was after my divorce, like 10 years ago. Like, I didn't want to come home to a dark, empty house. So I got smart lights. So when I pulled up to the house would turn itself on. And I walked into a home that felt welcoming. And that was so good to me. Plus, then all of a sudden I started saving a lot of money, and then I could just automate things. I haven't turned off a light switch in 10 years. Like, I'm just like, the lights turn on and off as I move around the house. Like, it's just like, it's great. I love it.
I just am I'm not opposed to that in principle. It just seems like there are analog versions of that, like the motion detector or the old clap on. You coming home and just running through, like, and that way you get a little boost of dopamine. I'm home, and you just give yourself a round of applause, and the whole house comes to life.
My man Kevin Rogers says he wanted to knock down a wall for an open concept.
Yeah,
hit a support beam. Almost made my second floor my new first floor.
Okay, you gotta put the support temporary wall up before you knock down the other one. Man,
this is why I just don't do home renovation. I mean, I live in an apartment too.
Yeah, but don't renovate your apartment like that.
No, don't do that. Yeah. Don't do that.
I mean, I got one. I mean, I moved into this mid-century house in 2018 and had to do a gut renovation. And like, I thought it was a cosmetic renovation. And then you take a wood paneling off a wall, and then you see black mold, and then you peel back the drywall to see where the molds come from, and you realize there's been water drainage in that wall, and it rotted away all the studs, and like nothing was. Now you got to reframe that wall, rebuild it, and all you thought you were going to do is like update the bedroom paint. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like that was the house nonstop. I mean, it went 4 times budget, and so I got to the point after about a year and a half, I was like, I'm done. And I wasn't done. I had like ripped out the kitchen, but I was so done. I just stopped. And so like, my house still isn't completely finished. So, but this year, I'm doing it. I'm working on it this year. I'm back in like finish the project mode. So that's good. But no, I've sat with this partially undone house for a few years now because I got in over my head. It just was bigger than I thought it'd be.
It's very difficult. I want to address one from Liz, and I have a question for you guys. Liz put up a fence, dug holes without checking for utility lines, and cut her cable line. No TV or internet for days. Her kids were not happy.
Oh, man.
Those lines are not very, very, very deep. Okay. But here's my conundrum. The junction box for like a whole bunch of neighbors for the cable company is in my backyard. Okay. Now, I will regularly have someone from the cable company they don't even knock. They just go into the backyard to go to the junction box. Right. What kind of rights do I have as the homeowner? And technically, can I hold the neighbor, like legally, can I hold the neighborhood hostage and demand free upgrades? Because I've thought about this. Because I put a gate up. I thought about putting a lock up. And they've knocked on the door and be like, hey, can you let me in? I got to go to the junction box. Can I say, I will let you in, but I want league pass this year. Let's do it. Let's make this happen. Like, what are my legal rights as a property owner?
You don't know unless you try.
Yeah, that feels like something like do first, ask for permission later, and then just kind of see what happens. That's my legal advice.
I think your city probably has actual laws about utility easements that even though it's technically your property, the city has to retain access to it.
So I think you talk to the actual guy and see if he'll hook it up for you for free.
That's what I was going with. I think legally the guy can get in your backyard, but I think you don't have to assume he knows that.
Is the easement just do I have to let him walk through, or
it's access to the thing? It's the easement is.
If he wants access, he has to get some kind of helicopter rope.
No, technically, legally, you probably shouldn't have put the fence up. I mean, or whoever put the fence up probably shouldn't have, because the city has to be able to maintain access. It's like,
but it's not a city utility. It's not a city utility.
Look,
it's a
buy him a beer and say, look, George, bro, I noticed you come through here. I just wanted to get you a couple of these Modelo's. I was wondering if you could hook your boy up. I got Miller Lights in the house too if you want them. But if you can hook your boy up with the league
Jesse
pass.
only has gross IPAs. Nobody will want them.
That outdoor fridge,
Chick-fil-A.
That outdoor fridge is always full, my dude. If you catch my drift, no one's gonna, if you're having a tough day and you just pop in.
It's all good, man. Come by, chill out. Hey, if you give me the league pass, I'll put a little TV out here.
He's already got one out there.
And then you can, then we're good. We can hang out together, have a beer, watch the league pass that you kind of helped me procure.
Or
you could just keep walking back here.
I'm getting a really mean dog, bro. A real mean one. So your call. It's up to you.
Like, you're going down to the pound looking for the attack dogs. You don't want the family dog.
Look, George, we can go stick or carrot. Your choice. Okay.
All right. Well, there's more where that came from.
Like,
go check
or
it out.
You could just pay for League Pass instead of investing in a dog and a bunch of free beers.
How much does League Pass cost?
Like
the dog by itself is way more than League Pass.
Just feeding the dog, let alone vet bills.
You could literally
but
just
it's the principle of a thing. Yeah. I get it.
All right. Hit us up or go check out the feedback. All right. It's time for this week's
editorial question of the week.
All right. Well, Emily talked earlier about that a bunch of sad single ladies, probably childless and cat ladies. JD Vance is most hated.
Oh, no. JD Vance got us straight.
JD Vance hates the people who now are having to find companionship with AI apps. So anyway, Emily was joking that maybe she should just give up on the dating scene and just settle in with a AI companion. So let's help her out. We want to know what you think. What attributes her AI companion should bring to the table? Like, help us build it for her. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Perfect AI companion.
What does my perfect AI man look
has
like?
Lots of Marvel takes, knows the Swift catalog pretty well.
Yeah. Wait,
this is sounding interesting.
Wears a digital beret.
The avatar has a beret, a cowboy hat, depending on the mood. I mean, just
We want to know everything. We want to know what he looks like. We want to know everything. We need to know
Help me, please.
Interests, all of that. Like,
Emily, what is your type? Is it a Harry Styles kind of like pasty, skinny guy? Like, what are we looking for here?
We looking for Jason Momoa? What are we looking for?
I really don't have a type. Like, if I look at all the guys I like for, there's not the single thing that connects them is probably more like personality than looks.
It's lit.
Interesting.
So,
all right, cool. We want to know the personality.
Equal opportunist.
Fine.
So she just gave y'all some tips.
There you go. So go wild with the looks part of it because she doesn't care. Yeah, hit us up.
A little bit.
Tell us, hit us up on X at Relevant Podcast, and we will build Emily's perfect AI companion on next week's show.
I truly can't wait.
All right. Well, before we wrap things up, I want to thank Judah and the Lion for joining us today. Make sure to check out their brand new album, The Process. It's out now. And also check out the feature we have with them in issue 115 of Relevant. It's available for free. The web version is at relevantmagazine.com. Just click on the magazine tab and you can read it right there, as well as features with Letitia Wright, Colony House, Carl Lentz, Maya Moore, a whole bunch of others. It's a fantastic issue. The web version is available for free. If you want the beautifully designed digital magazine experience, enhanced, beautiful layouts, it looks like our print mag, plus a lot of extras and interactivity, you can get it with Relevant Plus. Relevant Plus is available for as low as $2.50 a month. You not only get the magazine, you get ad-free unlimited reading at relevantmagazine.com, an ad-free version of this podcast, and more. Check it out. All the information's right there at the website. All right, on that note, we'll wrap it up. I'm Cameron Strang.
I'm Jesse Carey.
I'm Derek Miner.
I'm Emily Brown.
All right, we'll see you on what day? We'll see you on Tuesday. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Thanks for listening to the Relevant Podcast. Check out our features, interviews, and news updates every day at relevantmagazine.com. And make sure to follow Relevant on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for the latest. For more great podcasts, browse the shows on the Relevant Podcast Network, which you can find at our site. And while you're there, don't miss the all-new era of Relevant Magazine. A new issue releases every other month at relevantmagazine.com.
Computer love. Cool.
Relevant Podcast Network.